What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another episode of Seasons. This is episode number 27, and of course we started today's episode off using a new team. In the last episode, our last game was with Wolfsburg. We drew it 2-2 against PSV after I conceded their last minute equaliser, and so we went back to the Spanish League and we chose Sevilla. A very decent side Sevilla have. They're a 4.5 star team. I looked at their side and I thought they might actually be a 4-star team, but nope, 4.5 star, which is fair enough. And we come against Porto here, the Portuguese side, for the first game of today's episode. And of course, with us in Division 1 and off to a very decent start, this could well be the last season of this series, and it most likely will be, to be honest. And that means that there's only a few games left now, and we're using the final few teams, and I'm hoping that we can get ourselves the results needed to claim the Division 1 title come the end of this season. But the first chance fell to my opponent in this game, but it was a really poor game. Nothing really was happening, and Baka was denied our first real chance, being a goal straight from kickoff in the second half there. Very good save by my opponent's goalkeeper, and then Benega's corner a few minutes later found a Rebaz, and his header was cleared off the line. So still scoreless, but in the second half I made a very bright start. However, in the 64th minute, Danilo gets on the ball for my opponent down the right hand side, plays the ball inside towards Christian Teo, and wins a penalty there with 25 minutes on the clock. And there's been some bizarre penalty decisions during this series, and in general in FIFA 15 so many odd penalty decisions get given, but I could not complain about this one. I tapped circle for the shirt pull. I only actually did it once, but it seemed like it just followed through for a bit too long, and that's why it was a definite penalty. So no complaints about it. Penalty to my opponent, and rightfully so. So Jackson Martinez is going to stand up and take it against Beto, and it's a good chance for my opponent to take the lead from the spot, which he does. My goalkeeper just stands there, even though the ball is only like a foot from his hand, and just lets it go in, and it's 1-0 to Porto. So not a single penalty has been missed during this series, and I don't think it ever will be, because penalties are way too easy to be scored this year. So 1-0 to my opponent, and we looked as though we were on course for our first defeat of the new season here in Division 1. But directly from kickoff we come forward here with Garmero doing some skills, chipping it through to Baka, who makes it 1-1, and it was just such a simple goal. It really was. We just walked our way forward with one striker, held the ball up, waited for the run of the other one, picked him out. My opponent didn't play the offside trap properly, and we made it 1-1. So simple goal to get back on level terms, and I'm pleased to have scored it. But with 15 minutes to go here, we go down the left hand side with Delafeo down this left hand side, taking on Danilo, beats him with a Berber spin, rise the slide challenge, then a roulette to beat Marcano. He strikes the ball and puts it just wide the post and out for a goal kick. So still 1-1. Good chance there, but I didn't get the finish right, and I should have really got this finish right in the 80th minute. My opponent's goalkeeper gives it straight to Ava Benega. He's out of his goal, and that is just such a poor finish. What a chance that was to make it 2-1 there, and I should have done so, but the last chance fell in stoppage time, the ball getting played through towards Baka, and he went through 1-on-1, but again it was a brilliant save by my opponent's goalkeeper Fabiano, and the score did finish 1-1. So very frustrating game, that one. I really do feel as though I came alive in the second half, started to play very well indeed, conceded a stupid penalty which is my fault, and I should have won that game. I really should have done. You look at those stats there, my opponent had 2 shots and 1 on target, I had 8 and 6 on target, and the game finished 1-1, and I had 2 great 1-on-1 chances which I missed both of them, and really I should have won that game. What can I say? It's one of those games where I'm looking back at it now, and I'm watching the game back when I edit the clips to get into this episode, and I watched it back and I just thought, why didn't I finesse that shot? Why didn't I round the goalkeeper? Why didn't I blast it? XYZ. Why didn't I do this, that, and the other, as I always do? And I don't know. That was a really poor game from my point of view. Made too many mistakes, and that cost us from getting a win. But still, for the second game of today's episode, we chose Lokomotiv Moscow in the Russian league, and we came up against England. So we take on England here, and the first chance of the game would fall in the 38th minute as Denisov plays the ball through towards Ndoye, and he does open the scoreline. Even though it said Lokomotiv Moscow be Lokomotiv Moscow in the top left, it was 1-0 against England, and it was Ndoye with the goal. What a wonderful ball this is by Denisov, and a great run by my striker, and a good finish past Joe Hart as well. So 1-0 up, perfect start here, and in the 41st minute he's on the ball again, our striker. Step overs around his man and plays a brilliant through ball out wide towards Kasayev, who takes on John Stones, beats him with the fake shot, then the scoop turn, cuts past the Everton defender, crosses the ball in, and it's a second goal for Ndoye, wins the header in the area and makes it 2-0. So Lokomotiv Moscow 2, England 0 just before the half-time mark. Ndoye looking very dangerous indeed, both in the air and on the ground as well. So 2-0, and directly from kickoff in the second half, Boussoufa gets onto the ball and gives it to the striker who is in form right now. Fake shots to keep hold of the ball, holds it up, finds Boussoufa into Diarra. Wonderful build up, but I miss a great chance with Diarra and it is still 2-0. So that should have been 3, but still 2-0. But in the 51st minute, Boussoufa goes for goal from range, and it's a brilliant save by the goalkeeper, Joe Hart there. What a goal that would have been from the free kick, but very good save by the City goalkeeper, and it's still 2-0. But in the 65th minute, Kasayev goes down the left-hand side here. Very good chance to make it 3 as he rolls it inside towards Boussoufa, the 5-star skiller, takes on Phil Jones, beats him with a double step over, then a reverse step over into a fake Rabona, then a Blanco hop, and a good finesse shot into the bottom corner makes it 3-0. So the Moroccan makes it 3-0 to Lokomotiv Moscow, and this guy, I used him back in FIFA 12. I did a couple of montages, and this guy was just one of the standouts in a Russian league side, and he is just so good. He really is. He makes it 3-0. And there is no way back for my opponent now. Very good finish there. Nice couple of skill moves. And we are surely on course for the result. So 3-0 to Lokomotiv Moscow. And in the 72nd minute, Maikon's on the ball. Plays a great through ball towards Ndoye. He goes through one-on-one. I try and trick Joe Hart, and I do so. And the England goalkeeper goes flying out of his goal and goes flying into the challenge. And if you goalkeepers could get red cards online, then I'm pretty goddamn certain that would have been a red card. That was a shocking challenge. But still, only a book-in for Joe Hart, because goalkeepers can't get sent off online, unfortunately. We did win a free kick though, and from that we scored it. So Boussoufa makes it 4-0. Second goal of the game for my Moroccan playmaker, and you know, my opponent had already lost the game at this stage anyway, but it was still very nice to score a couple of nice goals with Boussoufa. So very good finish from the free kick there. We scored like 5 or 6 free kicks in this series. It's crazy how much easier they are this year, which is great obviously, but even so, it's a great free kick, and Joe Hart can't get there. The speed of the shot as well was quite nice, because usually when you hit those free kicks, they take a while to get over the wall and into the goal, but that one seemed to actually pick up speed after it went past the wall. Don't think it took a deflection, but even so, it's 4-0 to Lokomotiv Moscow. But a few minutes later, my opponent would grab himself a consolation goal. Shiskin went to clear the ball away, and he just miskicked the ball basically. It fell to Sturridge. His first shot is saved, but his second one went into the back of the net. So 4-1, consolation goal for my opponent, but that was all it was going to be, because Boussoufa comes forward here in the 84th minute. He gets past him out with a Berber spin, then a roulette. Lovely run by Boussoufa, keeps on going. Fake Rabona's the ball, and Baines takes him down from behind, and the referee gives a penalty, and also sends Leighton Baines off for a straight red card. So red card to Baines, penalty to us, and I have to say as well, at first I was like, that's a definite penalty, that's a definite red card, but I watched it back, there was barely any contact. There's a tiny bit of contact with the trailing left leg which comes through Boussoufa, but there's barely any. There's a tiny bit. It's like a fingernail worth of contact. There's barely anything on it, but the referee saw it as a penalty, and quite frankly I did as well. There was a little bit of contact. On another day maybe it would have been given as a dive to Boussoufa, but whatever, penalty to us. It wasn't going to matter anyway, but we scored the penalty with Boussoufa to make it 5-1. That got his hat-trick. This guy was just having an absolute field day, and in the 90th minute in stoppage time, my opponent couldn't even be bothered to wait for the rest of the game to finish. He just quit, and the game finished as a 5-1 victory. So 5-1 to us. I always wonder why opponents quit, you know, like with like a couple of minutes to go. It doesn't make any sense to me, but still, he quit the game. We won it by 5-1, a hat-trick for Boussoufa, and 2 goals for my striker Ndoye, and I felt as though I thoroughly deserved it. I had a good game, and I felt as though I deserved to win, and I got it, so there you go. So for the third and final game of today's episode, we kept it Russian and used the Zenit St. Petersburg team, which has some very decent players. To be honest, I was looking at it, it's a 4.5-star team. Obviously got Hulk on the right, Danny on the left, Rondon as the striker, had Arshavin playing as my playmaker. Witzel's a very good Belgian midfielder, so a very decent size Zenit St. Petersburg have. And we came up against Liverpool here in a scoreline again in the top left. Jesus, yeah, he sorted it out. But we came against Liverpool for this game. So we take on the English side, and the first chance fell to my opponent in the second half, directly from kickoff really in the second half. Sterling came forward, his shot hit the post, and his rebound attempt went wide and out for a goal kick. So still 0-0, but first chance for my opponent. However, in the 55th minute, a couple of nice passes releases Rondon, and Lovren and Skirtle are not going to catch up, and Rondon blasts the ball into the back of the net and makes it 1-0. So we take the lead 10 minutes after the restart. So my opponent had just hit the post with Sterling, very unfortunate, and from that we punished punish him with Rondon getting the goal. So that makes it 1-0 to Zenit St. Petersburg. And 5 minutes later, my opponent tries to come forward here. Garay miskicking the ball, just like my defender Shiskin did in the last game. And this time it doesn't result in a goal for my opponent because the shot is saved by the goalkeeper and it's turned behind for a corner. So still 1-0. Got very fortunate there. But 10 minutes later, Arshavin's on the ball and finds Danny. The Portuguese winger finds Crisquito down the left-hand side. Good chance here as he keeps hold of the ball and then plays it back towards Danny. Danny inside towards Witsel. Witsel plays the ball forward towards Hulk, and Hulk smashes the ball in on his weaker right foot at the near post past Mignolet and makes it 2-0. So nice goal there, a couple of good passes and a good finish by Hulk at the far post. So Zenit 2, Liverpool 0. That put the game beyond reasonable doubt. It was a very frustrating game. I couldn't really do much in this game. My opponent was struggling. Well, I was struggling to get the ball off him really, and Witsel almost scored a wonder goal in the latter stages, but his shot hit the post. But it was a frustrating game. We did prevail. We did get the 2-0 win and the 3 points. And in the next episode, that does mean if we win 3 games out of 3, we will win the division title. So as always, guys, a big thank you for watching the video. I really hope you have enjoyed it. If you have enjoyed the episode, then please leave a like because it's much appreciated. It really does help my channel out. And I'll see you for the next episode of Seasons very soon.